Hey guys, Jurassic Man here, and today I'm going to do a review of the new and improved, well not improved, Mattel Carnotaurus. As you may know, Mattel has done Carnotaurus in the previous line, and that was back in 2000. And 18 years later, Mattel has released another Carnotaurus with our favorite franchise of all time thanks to those dinosaurs, Jurassic Park. Or in this new series, Jurassic World, since it's now a trilogy, if you did not know that. So anyways, now the Carnotaurus, this one is a must-have. Everyone's sticking out on this. It's literally like $20, and if you see it in stores like what I did, you should get it first and immediately. Now if you want any of the other figures, don't, except the Mosasaur. Anyways, let's get right into the review, but first let's get a look of the package. And now the packaging on this is pretty unique. Well, not unique, but it's very similar to that of the other lines of the packaging. It has the volcano background, as you can see from the box. The volcano, the forest, and it has basically the same stuff, except it has the attack action Carnotaurus. There's Owen, there's Blue, the Jurassic World logo. And down here, you can see the Carnotaurus's chomping action, which is on the box. Right here, that points right here. Before we get to that, side of the box, Jurassic World. Other side, Jurassic World. And at the back of the box, you get a nice diorama piece. This is probably the final version because looking at this from the actual figure, there's not much difference. It says Carnotaurus, massive chomping attack. The code right here, or the advertisement for the ad. And you got some down here, you got the Triceratops, the Baryonyx, and the attack action Stegosaurus. And underneath the box, you just get the stuff. You can probably take a picture of that or screenshot it, flip it upside down, and you got the Carnotaurus Mattel logo. Something I have noticed, there's no seal of approval in any of this, like this is a Jurassic World toy. But, I don't know, probably is here, I'm just not seeing it. But either way, let's get right into the review. Alright, so let's get this figure out of its package. It comes in a pretty neat ties, which again I do not like because you have to cut them, which is pretty dumb in my book because I think that's Mattel's way of not repackaging their figure. So when you buy it, you buy it. No returns. It's pretty clever in my opinion. So the attack action Carnotaurus, it has this nice coloration. If you've seen those leaked pictures, or well not leaked, well, you know the trailer, or the advertisement of the trailer, it showed the Carnotaurus head, and that looks very reminiscent to the toy. But in the trailer where you see the Carnotaurus, it looks very different from the toy. My suggestion is that the stand-in was just the original design they have for it, and the CGI, it's supposedly, you know, that they're redesigned, they change it, you know, to make it look more ferocious. But I believe that one, the one with the head cast, was a juvenile, and this one is an adult. Well, in the trailer, it was an adult. But either way, the Carnotaurus looks very similar to that of the movie, and looks very similar to that of its real-life counterpart. Now, the sculpt on this is phenomenal. Just like before, Mattel did a good job with all these details and sculpts. There's nice ridges, nice creases. It has a lot of osteoderms on his back, even though fossil evidence show that there's only osteoderms running down the spine and not the side of it. But I give credit. Of course, there's Carnotaurus' infamously small arms, which is the signature feature with Carnotaurus. And before you ask, no, it's not rubber. I actually thought the tail was rubber due to those pictures and leaked pictures. Unfortunately not. Now the coloration on this guy is pretty good too. It has this nice bright or orangish brown red with this pretty cream color white, and this, I'm gonna guess, a mix of purplish red on top of the body that pretty much ends on the base of the tail, and the white doesn't even reach the base of the tail, it just reaches the tip of it. So the foot itself, they come in swivels, but I feel like that's not supposed to be the case, because when I swivel it, I feel like they're not supposed to, and they just go back in place. So I'm guessing those aren't swiveled and mine's just broken. So yeah, here's the scan code. Don't know if you can see it, but I'll take a picture and show it to you later. And there's the new Jurassic World logo. Or the new stamp of approval right there. And yeah. So the head sculpt itself, it's pretty good. Stupid camera. There we go. It's pretty good. It has nice teeth. The mouth is nicely textured and it's pretty smooth inside as well. I love the fact that they made it glossy so that the colorations or they bring out and then they're all to make it look, it just makes the mouth looks wet. And the teeth are fine too. Now the attack action figures do not have electronics, however they do have action features and you could trigger some of those by pressing the back of the button. For the Stegosaurus is the plate, for the Suchomimus and the Carnotaurus, it's all the same. You push the back and the mouth would go forward and make a chomp and go in. What I'd like to do, if you press it slowly, get it to that position, it stays open, and basically you can make it as the Carnotaurus is roaring or about to chase its prey, which animals don't do. But if you press it fast enough, the mouth clamps down, but if you press it real quick, it goes all the way down and you can hardly see the mouth or the trigger action. One thing I like to point out is that the Carnotaurus can do this. Basically what you could do is make the head bob, and that's pretty funny in my book. Now I really love how the textures look so well with the Carnotaurus, and it just looks like an actual Carnotaurus, you know, like the actual animal. Something that a lot of Jurassic Park figures do not tend to do, which is pretty extraordinary considering that most of the dinosaurs look nothing like the counterpart, and especially the Baryonyx and the Allosaurus in this movie don't look very similar to their real life counterpart, and that's an exception right there. And the Carnotaurus is so accurate, I gotta say, it's probably like a 90% accuracy. The faces, of course, shrink wrap, and there's more ossiderms, and the feet are overly large, but you know, it's Jurassic Park, they gotta make it look Jurassic Park-ish. Unpopular opinion, I do not like the Lost World Carnotaurus version. I don't know, I just don't like a chameleon dinosaur. And besides, it wasn't the first time used. A raptor had that anyways. Here's a comparison to Mattel's first Carnotaurus, or Carnotaur, back in 2000 of the Disney Dinosaur series. And as you can see, Mattel does a pretty well job with that. As you can see, they accurately represent them in both movies, and designs, and colorations as well, and sculpts too. Sculpts managed to survive after 18 years. But anyways, the coloration is there for both of them, the sculpt is alright, the only difference is that this one still has a push button on the back, but it makes sounds. And another thing, the tail is actually made of rubber and actually swings around when you press the button. Unlike this one, this does not have sound, and does not have a rubber tail, but either way, Jurassic Park is better, and Disney will never win. I still love this movie. And here's a comparison with their giant one. I think it's called the Crazed Carnotaurus. No, this one's the Crazed Carnotaurus. This is the Revenged Carnotaurus. And as you can see, the scaling on this is tremendously huge. Over huge, actually, to be in fact. And I would like to say this scales up to nothing except for any of the Disney dinosaur toys, which would probably just be Aladar, because to be honest, the rest are all too small. But scaling on these two compared to Mattel's first take on Carnotaurus to its 2018 counterpart, and as you can see, Mattel has improved overall. In fact, this big Carnotaurus shares a very much resemblance of the newer toys, such as having a rubber tail, a rubber head, nice electronics, though not better sound-wise, and great detail overall in small and big size. And that still carries over in Mattel's newer lines, and that proves that Mattel is very good with dinosaurs, unlike some company. And here's a comparison with the Rorovore Baryonyx, and as you can see, the scaling wise is pretty okay. I do not know the honest scale wise until they release an official picture, of the scaling, but either way, it's overall good. What I had to say, if I had to choose which one, if the Baryonyx wasn't electronic, I would choose the Baryonyx. But if the Baryonyx is electronic, which it is, I choose Carnotaurus. And the Carnotaurus is very excellently well made. And I just love the sculpt and paint and details goes this. Also, you may notice why the Carnotaurus isn't falling, it's because it's on a flat surface. So is the Baryonyx, but you know, you have to adjust the feet and such, which is an amazing part from Mattel in that case. And you know what, I'm gonna leave the Baryonyx here and get to the next one. Next we have the standard Alan Grant. It's not the one I got, but you know, the standard Alan Grant is 4 inches tall and pretty much fits well with these two. Overall, I think the Carnotaurus is pretty compatible with the old Kenner toys, to be a matter of fact. And I would highly suggest to get this Alan, Barry, and of course the Carnotaurus. And finally, for the first time, it's a sneak peek of my next review, which is going to be later this few days or so. And that's going to be the, I don't know what to call it. I don't know, in the title of the video when it comes out. But either way, this is going to be the next review. And that's going to be this springing Lost World Raptor, or Tiger Stripe Raptor. Which isn't really much of a spring, but it does this. We'll get into that later. What score would I give this? I would give this an obvious 5 out of 5. Now, I know what some people might say, well, it's not electronic, so why would I get a 5 out of 5? Well, pretty much I don't really like much electronics anyways, which is probably why I like the Red Rex much better without the electronics. And so my big Carnotaurus, because that roar is very weak if you hear it. Either way, it's a 5 out of 5. My only complaint is that, I don't know, its tail's not rubber, that's my only complaint. But yeah. Articulations are fine, they're basically the same with most of the figure anyways, just like the Baryonyx, except the fact that there's no point of articulating the hands either way, or the arms. Actually, they're just hands. But either way, it's an overall great sculpt, overall great design, paint colors, and everything else. If I would recommend this, I would get it as fast as you can, and no stopping. Just get as much as you want, any Baryonyx, any Carnotaurus, any Mosasaur. Either way, get the new line, support Mattel, and I'll see you guys next time. Yeehaw!